What? The food? What? I mean, this is an area of history that's just like so deep.
And over the baguette.
Themes of empire, mission, inheritance, and destiny. Hello and welcome to another episode of What the Food. This is a podcast that aims to uncover the fascinating origin stories behind dishes from all around the world, both popular and obscure. My name's Miles, and as always, I'm here with Andy, and together it's our mission to delve into history and to give you a whole new appreciation for dishes that we eat. Today's episode is episode 2 of a 2-part series on pizza. Pizza mia, mama. Pizza. Last episode we didn't do much of the pizza mia. I thought we were going to be doing that all the way through the episode, but I don't think we did. I think we avoided it. We're not
we're not racist. Keep it PG. This is a family-friendly podcast.
Hey everyone, get fucked. I'm joking.
Buy ads. So when we left, just tried to be efficient as possible then and just cut out
half the sentence.
Let me zoom in on this because I can't fucking see. When we last left pizza in the 18th century, it was a relatively local staple in the city of Naples and the surrounding area. Don't know if you remember the end of last episode, but that's where we're at. Pretty much, it's a food that's mostly enjoyed by the poorer side of the population, and to be honest, pizza would actually remain this way for the next few decades. Not a lot changed.
We're still in Naples at this point. The pizza hasn't ventured further than Naples, has it?
Exactly. I mean, around the sort of Naples region, people would have been eating pizza, and obviously a few distinct areas in Italy where it spread to, but it was by no means a regular food throughout the whole of Italy yet, and let alone the world.
A somewhat local legend at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But it wouldn't be this way for long. Something was about to happen that would change the world of pizza forever.
White Shug Knight himself, Henry VIII.
He's back.
Just crops into every episode.
Somehow. Anyway, something would happen that would see this humble peasant dish grow into a worldwide phenomenon enjoyed by all walks of life around the globe. So what was it? Well, as much as it pains me to say it, Milo, it was a bloody Yanks, wasn't it?
Oh, really?
But yeah, the Americans are the ones who actually caused pizza to be more well known throughout Italy.
Okay.
Like, that's how big of an impact that they have, But how did they do it? Well known throughout Italy and also the world. They were the ones that did it, basically. Yeah. How did they this Naples staple even make it to the Americas and the New World? And why did Americans adopt this foreign food wholeheartedly? Why did they do it? Well, let's stop pussyfooting around and get into it, shall we?
All right. Sorry.
Stop asking questions. Sit down and learn.
No.
So, in the late 19th century, Neapolitans, not the ice cream, the people, began to emigrate to the New World. They went in search of work, a better life for themselves and for their family. Now, it wasn't easy for the people of Naples as just jumping on a ship, waving goodbye to your nonna and setting sail. No. It was difficult to leave home, and for whatever reason, it was very difficult for the Neapolitans. The 1925 tearjerker evergreen of the emigrant Neapolitan song La Crema Napoleante is a song about how difficult it is, basically.
To move away from home.
Yeah, exactly. For the people of Napoli to move away from home in particular.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
so it's in the form of a letter from America written by a son to his dear mother in Naples. Oh. It is a lament of how difficult it is to be far away from home, away from the sound of the Neapolitan sort of events, especially around Christmas, away from the sky of Naples. And we have a little excerpt from this beautiful song, and it goes as follows.
How many tears this America cost us, Neapolitans, for us who long for the sky of Naples. How bitter is this bread?
That was beautiful. You've outdone yourself there.
Thank you, mate.
Didn't know you had it in you. Didn't know you had the pipes.
Yeah, man, it's in there.
Beautiful.
So this is how much they miss home then. They're in America and they're singing about missing home.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Naples is a beautiful place, isn't it? I mean, although these people were poor and then they moved away, presumably to find a better life, like you mentioned before, but Naples is a beautiful place, isn't it? It's easy to see why they'd miss it so much.
Yeah, definitely. The surrounding area of Naples, but also like their families, their friends, like the culture. That's completely different in Naples than it was in the New World in America.
Yeah, I guess you'd argue that with Italians in general, they just have such a strong sense of family, don't they? Like even today, it's like baked into their tradition, isn't it? About integrating grandma and grandpa in everyday life. They all kind of live together. Family is just like such an important thing for Italians, isn't it?
Yeah, huge.
I hate my family.
I love that.
No, joking.
Wow.
I love
Cut that.
Yeah.
I just love that it's like a proper emotional song, but he still has a bit of space to slot in sort of how shite the food is compared to back home.
Yeah. How bitter is this bread?
Yeah. Love Italians. Great people.
Yep.
Anyway, there's a mass immigration of Italians to the Americas with around 11.1 million people leaving between the years 1876 and 1913. It's thought that for the region of Naples in particular, you are looking at around 4 million people leaving. So that's a lot of people. Obviously, it's quite a decent amount of time. We're talking like over 30, 40 years there, but it's still a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely.
Some of those Italian immigrants would be called birds of passage, which they were called that basically because they sent any money that they got in the US back home and would eventually return back to Italy once they'd gained enough wealth. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So how were they getting over there? Were they travelling on boats, I'm assuming, at this point?
Boats. Yeah. Boats from Naples, obviously the port.
And and do we know where in America they were landing? I guess there's a massive Italian population in Manhattan and New York, isn't there? So
exactly. Yeah. So we've got some of the immigrants that are there for a while, but then obviously head back to Italy, and we've got the others who stayed in the United States, and they created massive Italian-American communities, primarily in the northeast of America and sort of the Midwestern area. So you've got New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, those sorts of areas. Right. And the reason being, this is where the work was. There's loads of construction going on in America at this point. Obviously you've got all these skyscrapers going up, all your buildings being built, all your homes, all your farms to feed this lovely new world. So that is where they are going to.
Yeah.
Of course, arriving in the new world after being on a ship for a decent amount of time, what's the first thing you're going to do, Miles?
I want to have a pizza.
Well, you're probably going to have a piss first.
I want to have a piss.
I want to have a piss, and then you're going to want a pizza. But this ain't Italy anymore, son. You ain't in Naples no more. You're in America. There's no pizza in America.
Oh shit.
So sooner rather than later, Italians began setting up places where you could buy their pizza.
If you can't be home, then bring home with you.
Exactly.
Create a little slice of home wherever you are.
Yep. They've gone from like the streets of Naples, where there's pizza stands on every corner, to the streets of New York. Well, there is nothing. No Italian food really for them. So up step a man called Filippo Malone.
Malone.
Often referred to as the granddad of pizza, Filippo Malone came to New York in the late 19th century and likely established two of the most famous New York pizzerias that still exist today. You've got Lombardi's on Spring Street and John's of Bleecker Street. Bleecker or Bleecker Street?
Yeah, I've heard of Lombardi's. I think I saw it on like a Vice documentary at some point. I went to New York, but never went there, and I regret it. I think there's loads of places that I would have liked to have gone to. But you can't do everything, can you?
No, it's too big. Well, I was actually reading some of the Google reviews of Lombardi's. Just to see if there was anything funny in there that we could pick up on. But some of the latest reviews aren't that great, to be honest.
No way.
Yeah, they said it was very underwhelming.
I guess like that's the problem you have with things that are overhyped, is that there's only room to be let down, really.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
Trying to think of an example.
Bubble tea.
Yeah.
So Felipe Malone established pizzerias in at least. I don't know why I said bubble tea.
Where's the hype happening for bubble tea? You've obviously had someone tell you that bubble tea is amazing and this is really good, and then you've gone and had it and you thought it's pretty shit. And now you're going to use that as an example for things being overhyped for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Bubble
Spot
tea.
on. Spot on.
Fair play.
is a bit overrated, though, isn't it?
Here we go. Yeah, no, I kind of like it though. I really like bubble tea.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying I'm against it, but it is massively overrated. It's just a bit of liquid with like little balls of
Chewiness.
more liquid in it.
Yeah. Tapioca balls. We'll do an episode of bubble tea. We'll get right to the bottom of that.
Great.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Can't wait for that one.
Anyway, back to
Anyway,
pizza.
back to Filippo. So, Filippo Malone established pizzerias in at least 6 locations throughout New York City. Of these 6, 3 later became famous under different names. You've got Pop's, you've got John's, and you've got, what we just mentioned, Lombardi's. I think Pop's in Brooklyn closed ages ago, but the other 2 in Manhattan are still knocking around. So Malone was a pioneer of what became a $45 billion industry. He died in around 1924 without any children to preserve his story, and he is buried in an unmarked grave in Queens, New York. That's pretty sad though, isn't it, really? Like, I had to dig real deep to find information on this guy, because most people believe that the first guy to have the first pizzeria in New York was a guy called Gennaro Lombardi with the Lombardi restaurant. But skipping forward a little bit, but a guy called Peter Regis was a private detective who looked into the claim that Lombardi's was this Gennaro Lombardi was the first guy.
Yeah.
And he's found like loads of proof, which we'll just dig into in a second.
Yeah.
How Lombardi isn't the first one, it was this guy. Felipe Malone was the first one.
Yeah, so how sad is it that he is arguably the person who birthed what we know as pizza today, and very little people know who he is. And he had no one to share that wealth or that knowledge and that story.
No one to take the that story and pass it on. But anyway, Malone would had a pattern for establishing pizzerias. Right. So what he'd do is he'd start off as opening a shop. He'd classify it as a sort of delicatessen or a grocer's or a baker's, and just slowly start building up a customer base. He would then introduce tomato pies, pizzas wrapped in paper and tied with a string.
Oh, because I guess like the natives, the Manhattan natives aren't gonna just randomly eat pizza if they have no idea what it is. So it's like it's a process of integrating that in, isn't it? Like you said, it's
like wean them onto it, don't you?
Yeah. So it started off with a tomato pie.
Yeah. So just a tomato pizza, really. Yeah. Plain tomato pizza. Now, once a pizzeria was established, he would then hand it off to others while he moved on to other locations. So he's basically like franchising.
He's fucking Ray Kroc.
Yeah, exactly. I had to dig deep to find this information because, like I said, most people believe wrongly that the first pizzeria was founded by a guy called Gennaro Lombardi. Gennaro Lombardi was an Italian grocer who started the business in 1867 as a grocery store. However, it said that in 1905 Lombardi received his business license to operate it as a pizzeria restaurant. So that's the story, right? That Lombardi was an Italian grocer. He started Lombardi's in 1867. Yep. He got a license in 1905 to become a pizzeria, and that's how pizza started in New York. However, this is not the case. Peter Regis, a historian and what looks like a private detective, basically tracked down the license, this license, or tried to track down the license for this pizzeria restaurant, and no license exists in Lombardi's name.
Oh, shit. He's a fibber.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if it was the other guy, then...
Well, no, he's not. No, sorry. He's not really a fibber. He's just wrongly credited, yeah.
I mean, but if it was the first guy, what was the first guy's name?
That was Malone.
That was it. Yeah, if it was him, where's he pulling the name Lombardi's from then? Or is that just quite a traditional sort of Italian name that he's, plucked up to use for it?
So I think what happened is it was probably called something else when Malone had it.
Right.
Malone had the shop first, and then like as I said before, what he'd do is once it was established, he'd then hand it off to somebody else.
So maybe this is when Lombardi's come in.
Exactly, yeah.
And then tried to take the claim for it, the whole thing.
Yeah. So this Peter Regis guy, this historian, he even tracked down Lombardi's birth record.
And Lombardi's kids as well. I know where your kids live.
I know where your kids live.
I know what your wife does on a Sunday morning. I know the bench that she eats her sausage roll on.
I get you, Lombardi. Yeah, and on his birth records and whatever other records that he found on him, it stated that he came to America in November 1904 at the age of 17 and classified himself as a labourer. So this is after like Lombardi's is said to have opened.
Yeah. Doesn't work in the timeline.
No, and it's likely that if he did become involved with the pizzeria, it was in around 1905, and it was as an employee, not as an owner.
So he's essentially got a fucking waiter who's trying to say that he's the one that came up with the whole thing.
Yeah.
He's just literally there working in one of his restaurants.
That's what it sounds like. That's what this Regis guy's uncovered. And I mean, like, by that time, I think the Lombardis had already been established as a pizzeria by Maloney in around 1898. So this is like 7 years before Lombardi even came. This, like, I read this Peter Regis's like findings. He obviously spent hours looking through like records of like Italian immigrant documents and stuff like that. Like this guy did some work.
He puts us to shame.
Yeah, exactly. He did some real research. Anyway, I think like the most important thing to take from all of this is that by 1930, Italian immigrants in New York have cemented pizza's place in the New World. You know, from this point on, it's positioned as a fast, fun, cheap and accessible food for all. You know, there's pizzerias galore now, or they're just starting to keep popping up. But to the horror of many Neapolitans, with this great accessibility came variety.
Ooh, because you know, if there's one thing that we know about Americans, they want more, they want different, they want to try this, they want this on there.
Yeah,
don't know why I went like Londoner with that, but you know, when it's with Americans, they're going to be fucking increasing the size. It's going from a little pizza pie to a big, massive slice, slice deal. I don't know.
Slice deal. Nice. Like it. God, that's what I always order at a pizzeria. Slice deal.
Slice deal. 2 slice deals, please. She'll have half a slice deal.
Half a slice deal.
No, what I did a really poor job of saying a moment ago was that Americans just love throwing extra shit at it, don't they? They love to make things their own.
Yeah,
I think that's what we're about to see.
Yeah, exactly. So Italians became increasingly confused with the plethora of things that Americans would do with pizza. The reason why Italians get
such a good word to use in that situation.
It's just like, why?
What is this? What do you do this for? What is it on there?
So, yeah, I mean, the reason why Italians get so upset when you use cream in a carbonara or pineapple on your pizza is because food is a massive part of what makes them. Definitely. You know, what they eat is like a strong identifier for their national and regional cultures. So, naturally, they pay great attention to what they eat and how they make it.
And also, like, it's when you attach your sense of yourself to an item, when someone then alters that item or speaks ill of that item, it then transfers onto you, and you then take that as a personal insult on yourself. So
exactly. Yeah.
No
Must
wonder,
be like a direct attack on your culture.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So no wonder, they get irate about people messing around with traditional Italian food because they associate themselves with it. So
100%. The Italians are truly a culture that lives to eat. They do not eat to live. Perfect description for Italians, that, I think.
Me too.
Me three. Anyway, before we get into talking about some sort of specific styles and how they originated, let's recap on where we are in the story of pizza. We've now got pizza in America. It's mainly being consumed by Italians living in America, but it's slowly becoming increasingly popular and is, of course, still super popular back home in Naples and the surrounding areas. But that's it, really. Pizza isn't a common dish served up on the streets of Milan or on like the canals of Venice, or it isn't readily available in London or elsewhere. It hasn't gone global yet.
No, it's still kind of stuck with the Italian communities at this point, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly, 100%. The event that we have to thank for pizza's meteoric rise in popularity is World War II.
Really?
See, it wasn't all bad. We did some good.
Yeah.
Anyway, with Europe awash with American troops, Europeans began a lightning-fast involuntary education on all things blue jeans, rock and roll and pizza. So it was actually these American troops who are thought to have helped spread the idea of pizza to the far reaches of places even like Italy. And it was from here that the national popularity of pizza skyrocketed.
No way.
You know, because if you think about it, you've got, in Italy at the time, regions, the whole of Italy wasn't united. You know, it was under different flags and there was different regions.
Right.
So
they've all got their own sort of things going on.
It wasn't until the Second World War, when obviously the Americans and the Allies sort of took back Europe, that they spread these ideas and connected these regions and really sort of spread the idea of not just pizza, everything really, to these far-flung places that had been once isolated from each other.
So this is essentially just word of mouth then, isn't it? These troops are just talking about it and just being passionate, maybe just sharing stories of what life's like back home. And maybe at this time, pizza's a big part of that, you know. The bleed that it's had into American culture is significant enough for them to be missing it, you know.
Yeah. Now, obviously, some of the American army would have been Italians as well. So, you know, they would have had prior knowledge of pizza. But some of them would have no idea what pizza was and would discover it either on tour or after spending time with their Italian mates.
I mean, I'm not my historical knowledge of World War II is somewhat lacking, but there was a period of time where the Italians were allies of Nazi Germany.
Yeah, under Mussolini.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that would have been a strange dynamic to have American Italians fighting essentially against pure Italians.
Pure Italians, yeah. Yeah, it would have been a weird one, wouldn't it?
Yeah, strange.
Yeah. Now, World War II, thankfully, we won. And
did we?
We did, yeah, spoiler. And on their return, servicemen were obviously now craving pizza, and they would actively seek out their new favourite food back home. And what happens when demand increases, Milo, for something?
Then we all eat it. I don't know. When demand...
What happens when demand increases?
The production increases.
The supply is what you're looking for.
Supply increases.
Supply and demand, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You've always been an astute businessman.
I know. Oh, God.
When demand increases, we eat more. Basically what you just said.
Innit? Oh, my God.
So anyway, more people want pizza, so therefore more pizzerias open and more people are trying to sell pizza.
More people eat it.
More
so
people eat it eventually. Pizza was now being talked about and touted as the next best thing across all of America. We have quotes from the New York Times back in 1947 that read,
"The highly seasoned pizza, with its tough crust and tomato topping, is such a gastronomical craze that the open pie threatens the preeminence of the hot dog and the hamburger."
Bold, that.
Isn't it?
New York Times is claiming that the pizza could rival the hot dog or the hamburger.
Which are like quintessentially American.
Yeah.
Part of their national identity.
Exactly. Just kind of gives you an idea as to how it's sort of creeping its way into the roots of American culture.
Yeah.
Another little quote that we have from The Atlantic in 1949 that further backs up the point that pizza was becoming incredibly popular says,
"It is piping hot. The brown crust holds a bubbling cheese and tomato filling. There is a wonderful savour of fresh bread, melted cheese and herbs. This is a pizza."
Beautiful. What a description.
Piping hot brown crust holds a bubbling cheese and tomato. Whoever wrote that likes pizza, don't they? It's just like the words they've used to describe it are just...
Yeah. And the last sentence as well. This is
a pizza. Yeah.
You put down the pen
Dramatic
like
guy.
that and just went, fuck it, I've nailed this.
Yeah.
Let's get hold of this.
This sentence is the best.
But all these positive remarks doesn't mean that everyone in the country was convinced. Eugenia DiCarlo, whose husband tried to open a pizzeria in Louisiana, told McNeese State University that
We had to give it away at first, They had never heard of it down here. And boy, every time they'd take a piece of it, they liked it. And more liked it, told other people, and then got to the place where that was the biggest part of our business.
You had to stop yourself going into like, in a little bit of this place.
Yeah.
like poor child, like you did the impression that you did for Oliver Twist.
Oh, Oliver Twist.
Sancho, yeah, sorry, yeah. Sancho. That was Sancho, yeah.
Yeah, a bit too similar.
Yeah.
But I mean, Louisiana and the sort of deep south of America, they also have their own very unique sort of culinary tastes, don't they? I'm sure, like
French based, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of French influence and barbecue and stuff like that as well. Because a lot of it's like swampland down there as well. So like, I saw an episode of what was it? I think it was another Munchies. It was like a Vice documentary. It was talking about the typical cuisine of like Louisiana and deep south places, and it's so strange the food they eat. It's really kind of not what you expect. I'm trying to think of examples, but I can't actually remember. But I remember watching it and thinking, what the fuck is that? I've never even heard of
like gumbo and stuff like
gumbo, yeah, and it's very much got its own sort of like culinary identity, the deep south of America.
Yeah. But despite Eugenia and the initial sort of wariness that some parts of America had about pizza, between 1950 and 1980, pizza became a global favourite because of a variety of factors. And these factors were not just solely Italian immigrants either. Pizzerias required minimal investment and had low overhead costs, making them an attractive option for all sorts of different types of immigrants. Yep. For instance, the 1970s witnessed a explosion of pizzerias in the Northeast, almost half of which were operated by Greek Americans.
Whoa, no way.
So around this time, you've not even got, it's not just Italians that are getting in on pizza, it's all. Yeah. It's all people from all walks of life.
I mean, that's the thing about pizza, isn't it? That it's quite a blank canvas, isn't it? Where, and then you can, like, with all the different toppings, you can attach your own sort of culinary tastes to the pizza and turn it into a dish that then you're going to like. If you're Greek, like chili throw on some shawarma on there or whatever.
Some feta, some yogurt.
But, yeah. But yeah, in theory, you could. And feta cheese.
Feta.
Is that a Greek person?
Yeah. Olives.
I mean, they're on pizzas. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, you can turn it into something you're going to like. Whether you're from fucking Greece or, I don't know, Argentina or India. Do you know what I mean? Put some chicken cooked in the tandoor on there. Turn it into a bit of a tandoori chicken pizza. Do you know what I mean?
Do you reckon you can make... they make naan breads in a tandoor oven?
Yeah.
Do you reckon you can make pizza dough? Obviously you couldn't like top it.
That's what I was going to say. Jesus, I'm sliding off. Because it's stuck vertically, isn't it? In there.
I don't just got like a fucking pile of toppings right at the bottom.
That's a sad sight, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know,
it
because
won't work with it. It won't work.
Well, because you have the raw dough, and then you put the toppings on the raw dough, and then it all goes in the pizza oven and cooks at the same time. But if you were doing that, then you would be cooking the bread until it's ready, then applying the toppings, and then cooking it again. So your bread would be too. No, but I wonder if you could just make a naan base sound.
Daft idea.
Let it go, Miles. Just let it go. It's shit. It's not going to work, Miles.
It's not going to work. Come on.
I don't know. I feel like there's a way to do that. I feel like we could create the world's first horizontal tandoor.
So an oven.
It's a pizza oven. It's literally what they eat now.
It's literally, it's just an oven.
It's a fucking clay flat oven. A horizontal tandoor. I shock myself with my own stupidity sometimes. Right. Fucking hell.
Brilliant.
Okay. Right, move on before I say something more dumb than that.
Speaking of ovens, changes in technology also enabled the dramatic transformation of pizza preparation and its delivery. to customers. You know, you've got the introduction
Invention of the
steel
moped.
ovens. Yeah, no, you're right.
That wasn't
You've got,
stupid. Was it not?
No,
Yes.
come on. You know, you've got steel ovens with rotating shells. You've got the introduction of pre-shredded cheese and toppings. You've got pre-cut delivery boxes. You've got mopeds. You've got a rising car culture that would help, you know, the delivery industry. There's more pizza being made, and there's more ways to get it to people's doors. In around 1948, as early as 1948, they started selling make your pizza at home kits. You know, like fucking what did I say then? make your pizza at home kits. Oh god.
Yeah, but it's like you said, pizza at home. It's kind of like a fun thing to. We do it sometimes. It's just like it turns it into a bit more of an activity, a bit something special to do. You know, make your dough,
exactly.
roll it out. It becomes a bit of a thing, nice thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you've got pizza at home kits in 1948, and then you've got frozen pizzas being introduced in 1957. There's innovations happening by all sorts of different people, all sorts of entrepreneurs. It's fair to say at this point we gone global, son.
We gone Mr. Worldwide.
We fucking flow right up in this shit. So pizza's global now, right? It's everywhere. Before we go into some sort of the specific types of pizza and their origins, we couldn't go into the story of pizza in America without mentioning its connection to the Italian mob.
You want to fuck with me tonight? I'll fuck with you tonight. You want to take my part and try to sell pizza on my land? I'll take my fuck your family.
Did you say peso or pizza?
Pizza.
You trying to steal my pesos?
My pesos.
My pesos.
I could my mob impression could do with a bit of work. Not gonna lie.
You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding. You read me an offer I can't refuse. Was that good?
That was pretty good actually. Yeah, no, that was actually good.
Thanks, man. I'm working on that. So, yeah, thanks to the mob, pizza wasn't the only import to arrive on US soils. There was something else that started to arrive thick and fast that the Americans adopted wholeheartedly. This something else was, of course, drugs. Hard drugs. Now, through the years, these Italian-American imports would occasionally overlap, but never more dramatically than during the Pizza Connection trial of 1987, when a budding prosecutor by the name of Rudolph W. Giuliani, yes, that Giuliani, the guy that supported Trump and was leaking a few months ago.
Yeah, down both sides of his face.
Yeah. So it looks like this guy wasn't always mad, or maybe he was always mad, but he actually did some decent shit in trying to take the mob down. So he actually exposed a vast criminal, or he had a hand in exposing a vast criminal conspiracy involving dozens of pizzerias across North America.
No way.
Yeah, so it's actually called the Pizza Connection Trial.
Whoa, fucking hell. Okay.
Yeah, man.
So a network of pizzerias that are working together as a criminal underground.
Yeah, exactly. So what they would do is using the pizza shops as fronts, Sicilian mafia associates in the United States were able to import 1,650 pounds of heroin, which is an estimated street value of 1.6 billion at the time. So that's you're probably looking at probably double that now between the years 1975 and 1984. Absolutely insane. If you think about it.
I mean, I think if there's one country in the world that I don't want to import drugs into, it's got to be America. They're so anti-drug. Like
well, they weren't always. No, it was only
the war
Nixon,
on drugs,
and sort of that era. Yeah, exactly.
What was that, like 60s onwards sort of thing?
Yeah, 60s onwards. Yeah,
to curb the hippies and all that. Vietnam was all war on drugs was happening back in America during that time, wasn't it?
Yeah,
but it was like crazy prison time, wasn't it, for drug offences and stuff? Could you imagine like the sentences for these people that are bringing in these £1 billion worth of drugs? Fuck.
I know, it's crazy. So the Pizza Connection trial dragged on for almost 2 years and was one of the first investigations to establish a clear, irrefutable line between the Sicilian Mafia, which was processing Turkish morphine in Palermo, and the Bonaro crime family in New York City, which oversaw the distribution across North America.
It's like, it is real life Godfather, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. So as Antonio Nicasso, an organised crime expert, told Munchies,
You can do this with any kind of restaurant, but at the time, it was just easier to buy a pizzeria, and it was a great opportunity to make money and sell heroin out the back door. There were people coming for pizza and people coming for heroin. Pizzerias were linked to the Bonanno crime family, who... I nearly said banana then.
I think I before said Bonaro, which was obviously wrong. It's Bonanno.
Bonanno. Oh my God. So
Bonanno. Just imagine like the whole family like playing drums, like we had our bananas. These people kill people.
Don't fuck
pretty
with
horrible.
Don't call them bananas. So the pizzerias were linked to the Bonanno crime family, who were the most Sicilian of the 5 families. How are you more Sicilian than anyone else?
Well, they had the most ties, I think.
Oh, fair enough.
The most ties to Sicily itself.
So they had they were the most Sicilian of the 5 families, the most violent, and with the most ties to Sicily. So don't fuck with these Bonanno people.
Don't fuck with the bananas, no.
So they're selling pizza out the front and heroin at the back.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I mean, and obviously it was a really good way of laundering money as well.
Yeah. It just goes through the business, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Our monthly takings were 3,400,000. We did sell a lot of pizza, I'm not going to lie.
So these pizzerias had a broad appeal and they had a long reach. You know, it meant that any sort of pizzeria had a pre-existing distribution network. You know, there was already a set up distribution, so you could deliver pizza and heroin at the same time without anyone batting an eyelid.
Yeah. All these fleet of cars and mopeds and motorbikes out on the street with a pizza logo slapped on the side, and you're not going to bat an eyelid. Yeah.
No, genius. Think about it. And you can even deliver the drugs in pizza boxes as well, just to make it look even more like authentic. You know, when you're at the door handing it to them.
They're clever, these bastards, aren't they?
So the Pizza Connection trial, which lasted from the 30th of September 1985 to March the 2nd at 1987, it did little to reduce America's appetite for hard drugs or pizza, but it did end in 18 convictions with sentences handed down on June the 22nd. Yeah, it lasted about 17 months, which was the longest trial in judicial history of the United States.
Yeah, I was going to say, I bet, because think about the amount of unpicking you need to do to get to the bottom of that. Like, that process of bringing the drugs in, distributing them, like you said, laundering it, operating the businesses, the people that then work for the business, like how many people are actually in on it, how many people aren't, what a fucking mess to try and unpick all of that.
Yeah, no, crazy. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, we've got the serious stuff out of the way. You know, we've examined the history of pizza itself. Yep. You know, we've looked at the origins. Let's have a quick rummage around in the dough sacks of the more popular styles of pizza. Do you know how I determined what pizzas were most popular that we were going to look at today? How do you think I did it? Do you think I looked through like reams and reams of sales data, forecasts, or scanned through sort of message boards with a fine-tooth comb to unearth what people were talking about? Do you think I did that?
No, I think you might have gone to actually, I don't know. Maybe, yeah.
No, I didn't do that at all. I used the Times' 13 most influential pizzas of all time.
Yes. An article online.
Yeah. That's a thing. That's the exact headline that they went with. 13 most influential pizzas of all time. Just like the idea of an influential pizza is just funny to me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like when I think of someone
influenced me to do what?
Yeah, exactly. Like when I think of something influential or someone influential, I think of like Martin Luther King or like David Attenborough, not a fucking pizza fungi. You know?
Yeah, Hawaiian.
Exactly.
What is it inspiring exactly?
Speaking of the Hawaiian, Miles, we'll start with that one, shall we? The most controversial of all pizzas. Do you like a Hawaiian pizza? Big fan?
I would never order it, but if for argument's sake I was at a party and there was a slice of it on the side, I wouldn't.
So what we're talking a pizza party?
We're talking a pizza party.
Yep.
And everyone's there eating pizza and chatting. No alcohol.
Now, is this a pizza party thrown for a child or thrown for an adult? This is very important in the quality of the pizza.
So it's not. It's thrown for the pizzas themselves as an appreciation for how influential the pizzas have been. It's like a thank you back to the pizza. So this is us saying
like
thank you. Exactly, yeah. So you have the shrine, and don't eat the shrine pizza, because that's the pizza we're saying thank you to. But
Right,
the other pizzas...
What's the shrine pizza? What's on the shrine pizza?
Margarita.
Right, brilliant.
Anyway.
You had all that time to think of like a crazy combination. You just said margarita.
Because it's the OG pizza, isn't it?
Right, yeah,
like,
no,
if you're going to hail a pizza, it's got to be a fucking margarita.
No,
anyway.
fair enough.
Right. What I'm doing terribly at explaining and going so roundabout is that if I was at a party and there was a Hawaiian pizza there, I would eat the Hawaiian pizza. I just wouldn't order it myself. I wouldn't pay my own good money for pizza. But if someone else is going to pay for it, then I'll have it.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
So if you're buying, I'll have it.
But then if there was a Hawaiian, a meat feast, a pepperoni, and a margarita, which slice you grabbing first?
Which one's closest?
Going by distance. Brilliant.
What were the choices again?
Just 3 other pizzas apart from Hawaiian.
any fucking pizzas, man.
Any fucking pizza, man.
Would you fucking have it or not? It'll be the last one I go for.
Right, okay. That's what I'm trying to get at.
That's what you wanted. I'll throw you a bone. There you go.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
Oh, personally, I love them. I'd always hang them.
Would you?
Nah.
Oh, God.
Anyway, the Hawaiian pizza was birthed by a man named Sam Panopoulos. Sam Panopoulos. I'm just going to call him Sam. Sam was born in Greece.
Yep.
So Sam was born in Greece, but moved to Canada when he was 20 years old and decided to try out pineapple on pizza in 1962 to attract customers to one of his Ontario-based restaurants.
Okay.
He is quoted as saying,
We just put it on, just for the fun of it, see how it was going to taste. We were young in the business and we were doing a lot of experiments. So
God knows how to party.
yeah, so he literally just fucked around. He was like, right, let's just give this a go.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
People do think that he was inspired by his experience in, I think he worked at like a Chinese restaurant at one point in his life.
Oh, right, okay.
In a lot of Chinese dishes, they mix sweet and sour, don't they? Or sweet and savoury flavours together.
Well, I mean,
So
it's quite an English thing, isn't it? Having like gammon steak with a ring of pineapple on it. That as a dish goes back quite far, I think. So it's a combination of ingredients that's known to work well together. Anyway,
well, you've got the saltiness of the pork, haven't you, and the sweetness of the
I just don't mind. I don't mind Hawaiian at all.
impartial to it.
Yeah.
Well, at first it wasn't very popular, but every time he tweaked the ratios of ham to pizza, the closer he got to cementing this type of pizza as a local staple in I think Ontario it is at the moment. After hitting it off locally, it wasn't long until the Hawaiian pizza became popular worldwide, and now it can be found on pretty much every corner of the earth, really. Like you go to some sunny beach in Spain, you'll be able to pick up a Hawaiian. If you go to the Caribbean, I imagine there's Hawaiian pizzas knocking around on the beachfront there as well.
Yeah, definitely.
When it comes to naming the dish, there isn't, unfortunately, any sort of deep meaning or anything like that behind the name. It's called Hawaiian because that was the brand of tinned pineapple that Sam was using to put on the pizza.
Well, fucking hell. Around the world, we're all ordering Hawaiian pizzas, and it's literally because he just looked at the tin.
Yeah. It was just on the counter, and he was like, what should we call it? Hawaiian. Sound. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, the assumption would be that pineapple is like a Hawaiian thing to eat.
Yeah.
If you were, to look at it very surface level. But I don't think it particularly is more Hawaiian than it is anything else, is it really? Pineapple?
No, I don't think so. No, I think it's more like...
Caribbean?
It's Caribbean, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, maybe they have it on Hawaii. Fuck no, it seems to have everything tropical in Hawaii, don't they?
Don't they?
Bastards. Catch any potatoes growing there, will you?
No. Drop pie. Can't have it.
So here's a mad recent story about the Hawaiian that I thought you'd enjoy. So in 2017, Icelandic President Gunnar Tahannesson, probably butchered that. Basically, the Icelandic president reportedly told a group of high school students during Q&A that he was fundamentally opposed to the idea of putting pineapple on pizza. The president of Iceland, right?
Yeah.
And he later went on to add that he would ban pineapple as a pizza topping if he could, as long as he received 30% of the under 21 vote.
Oh my God. This guy's actually passionate about this.
Isn't it? Kind of a bribe, that, no?
Yeah.
Like, I'll ban pineapple on pizza if you under 21s vote for me. 30% of you vote for me.
Yeah. But it's actually probably the most tame buyout that any president has offered, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, his off-the-cuff remark, quite rightly, generated a flurry of media coverage and inspired those who liked and disliked Hawaiian pizza to express their opinions on social media. Even Canada's Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, got involved.
What did he
Obviously,
say?
the Hawaiian was made in Canada by the Sam who was in Ontario.
Yeah.
And is an Ontario restaurant, so obviously Canada got behind it. The president tweeted, "I have a pineapple, I have a pizza, and I stand behind this delicious southwestern Ontario creation." That was his tweet.
Ooh, all right, fair enough.
Even the media even tried to get the Sam himself to come out and defend his creation from this Icelandic
How do
president.
all these people have time for this shit?
I know.
There's a pandemic
Like-
going on. Like, I mean, this obviously was before then, but
Yeah.
like, I don't know. These people obviously
like-
had way too much time on their hands, didn't they?
Yeah. But like Sam himself was retired at this point. Like he was done with all this sort of stuff, and he just suddenly had loads of media at his door. Like,
Can you tell us
Sam,
about the Hawaiian?
Sam, your pizza's under attack by Iceland.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just like, not on my watch. Goes in, gets his pizza armor on.
But it was all cleared up when the Icelandic president came out and clarified that he did not have the power to ban a particular topping of pizza and would not
His
like to
PR
live
team
in
are
a
like,
country.
right, you need to go out and actually clear this shit up because
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
causing a
Let's get
ruckus
our
out
land
there. I do not actually have the power to cancel a complete ingredient.
Literally. They literally walked him out and made him say that, and then they also made him say that he would not like to live in a country where the leader could ban anything he or she did not like.
It was getting too fucking like dictatorship mode, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god.
But I think it's safe to say Hawaiian pizza deserves that fucking top spot of the most influential pizza on Times' list.
I think because it drums up the biggest conversation out of all of the different types, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It's got the most mixed opinions. So yeah, in terms of influential, it's got to be up there,
Big
isn't
one.
it?
Another one on the list, another influential pizza, according to the Times, was Pepe's White Clam Pizza.
The
Have you heard of
fuck
that?
is that? What? Pepe's white clam pizza?
Pepe's White Clam Pizza.
No, I'm okay.
No. So
I don't want
this pizza.
clam
This
on a
pizza
pizza.
was no, neither do I. It's grim, innit? This pizza was created by Frank Pepe at Pizzeria Napolenta in the mid 1960s. Basically, Frank was the first person to put a completely unconventional topping, in this case seafood, on a sauceless pizza. So basically what this guy did, right, is he looked at pizza and was like, get this gross tomato shit out of here, get this gross cheese
The
out
only
of
fresh part about it.
the only flavour I want is fish. Get fish on this and just
Yeah.
give it to me. That's what I want.
Yeah, I want a pizza base, a brine sauce,
Yeah.
and then cheese on top and clams.
Yeah.
This guy sounds like
That's
fucking Davy Jones. His little squid chins, all reaching for different slices of this fucking clam pizza.
Sucking in by clams.
Horrible. But I mean,
Horrible,
the
innit?
tomato base is like the fresh part of it. It's the bit that gives you the sweetness.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Take that away, and
Yep.
it's just salt. It's just bread and salt. No, I can't
No,
get on board
not
with that. I
about
don't
it.
think you'd have to try it though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd try it.
Yeah.
I'd try it. But over time, this style of pizza that this guy's made, this sauceless pizza with sort of unconventional toppings, it became known as New Haven style pizza. It actually gained clout.
New Haven.
And it's New Haven style, yeah. And it's served in like Brooklyn now, it's served in Austin, it's served in Washington DC. It's become one of the main styles.
if you eat it, it'll take you to heaven. Get it?
The last one that we're going to look at, last one that we've got time for today, but also quite influential in the world of pizza, is of course the Chicago-style deep dish pizza.
Ooh, very nice. Never had one. Never had a proper one.
Never had one. No, neither. Neither have I.
They look amazing.
Yeah, they do. So, like New York, Chicago was another Italian-American stronghold with a strong community of first and second generation descendants, hungry for the thin pizzas that represented their culture and culinary roots. You know, this is another sort of hotspot where Italians travel to in search of more work. Eventually, two entrepreneurs, Ike Sewell and Rick Ricardo, sick name, decided to create something different, an Italian-American version of pizza.
So here, the two cultures are really being combined to make this dish, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. So in 1943, the pair opened up a pizzeria known as Pizzeria Uno. It was located in the Chicago's near North Side neighborhood. America sounds bare complicated, man. Near North Side. How what?
Yeah, what is where? How do we get there?
Yeah.
I know, innit? America does seem like that.
Yeah. And like in New York, they've got like lower East Side and like
upper South Side. It's like, what? Where am I going here? So what's the pie element based on then? Where?
I'll get to it. Chill out, man.
Chill out, man. You're always up in my grill.
You're always up in my grill, man.
Sorry. Carry on.
So in this new pizzeria, they began serving a new style of pizza with a deeper dish, a crunchier crust, and inverted layers.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you just stop and think about like the innovation here, right? The Chicago-style deep dish pizza is like so far away from like, you know, the classic Neapolitan style. It's mad different if you think about it. You've got like layers of meat and vegetables. You've got like a thin tomato sauce layer. You've got dense sort of mozzarella cheese layer, and you've got like a resistant like cracker-like crust. They've taken like the concept of pizza, a style of a traditional sort of American pie, and like the lasagna method layering system.
Yeah, exactly. And it's got the tomato on the top, hasn't it? Cheese underneath and tomato on the top.
Yeah.
It's bizarre, really.
It's mad. So they've taken like inspiration from all those three different areas, I think.
Yeah, and the crust itself is different, isn't it? It's like
thinner. It's like pie,
more crumbly, almost like a quiche style. I mean, it's
Yeah. So, right, I was doing a little bit of research for the Chicago style of things, and I came across a mad variant of the Chicago deep dish. It's called a stuffed pizza. Have you ever heard of a stuffed pizza?
No.
Right, so in the middle of the mid-70s, two Chicago pizza chains, one called Nancy's Pizza and another one called Giardano's Pizza, maybe? Giardano's. Anyway, those two pizza chains began experimenting with deep dish pizza, and they eventually created something called the stuffed pizza. A stuffed pizza is even deeper than the deep dish pizzas, and it generally has
served in a bucket.
Basically. But yeah, it's much deeper, and it has a much deeper topping density as well than other types of pizza. So as with deep dish, there's like a deep layer of dough that forms the bowl in a high-sided pan, and then they add the toppings and the cheese are added as well into that. And then for stuffed pizza, an additional layer of dough goes over the top and is pressed down to the sides of the crust. And then you put more tomato sauce over the top.
Oh my God. So it's like a double layered pizza.
Yeah, exactly. I watched a 25-minute documentary of this on YouTube, right? You've got some fucking Danny DeVito looking type character walks you through like making this stuffed pizza. It's whack. They use like 3 pounds of cheese just for the base layer.
Oh my God.
3 pounds of cheese. Right.
So as a family, do you just order one of these then and you all just tuck in, or I don't...
Yeah, I think maybe. But yeah, 3 pounds of cheese just for the base layer.
My God.
No wonder cows have a shit life now. They got to produce all that milk so DeVito can make his fucking pizzas.
Yeah, make his bucket pizza.
At the end of this video, he did like this massive cheese pull, like, you know, when they do when they lift the pizza up.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, this guy was freaking out. He was so buzzing that the cheese was stringy. Like, he was so happy. He was like, oh my God, look at this. Look at this stringiness.
It's halfway down the street. String still. Oh, Americans, though, like that is a sign of the quality for them when it's got nothing to do with how it tastes or anything.
I know. Why are they asked about if it's stringy or not? Or does that make it taste superior?
Nice? Yeah. I'd rather have mine break straight away but taste amazing than string for fucking 2 football fields and taste like shit.
If it's stringy like that now, what's it going to look like when you eat it?
Yeah. Yeah. What's that doing to your intestines?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. So this is the stuffed pizza. This is the variation of the Chicago Chicago style.
Chicago style, yeah.
Because there's you know, I think it's a more traditional Italian variation, but there's the calzone, isn't there? Which is the folded style pizza, which is quite different. But essentially, that is just like a traditional pizza, but folded, isn't it? And it's just attached along one side, like into a half moon shape. So it's that's not much of a deviation, really, is it?
No, I'd say that's more like a pasty type thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah, and they sometimes like have an egg in there, don't they? In the middle of a calzone. So that's not, but you know, compared to the deep dish, that's actually not that different.
Yeah,
just folding it. I really want to try one of these deep dishes though. I'll absolutely love to go to Chicago and try a proper one.
Yeah, me too.
Did you look amazing?
But yeah, I mean, it just it goes to show that the Americans were the ones that truly drove the innovation when it came to pizza. In Italy, it took them like over 100 years to even think about putting mozzarella cheese on their pizza. You know, it took them an incredibly long time to innovate when it came to pizza.
Because tradition is so strong, whereas tradition isn't as strong in America. America's a relatively new state, and that means that they don't have deep-rooted traditions, but what they have in place of that deep-rooted tradition is the new tradition to experiment the fuck out of everything. So they've got nothing to lose. Why not fuck around with these ingredients and try this and try that? And that's, you know. Yeah,
exactly. Anyway, I think we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
We could talk all day about stringy cheese and how the stringiness of anything makes it superior. But yeah, there we have it. The origins of pizza, part 2.
Part 2. There we go. Fucking hell. I've learned an awful lot about pizza. Yeah, like you said, first 2-parter, double whammy, heavy hitter. We could just go on forever though, couldn't we, with pizza?
Exactly.
It could easily be a 5-parter, really, couldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Maybe later down the line, we might release sort of a dedicated episodes for the sort of more popular, more influential ones.
Like a 3-parter for each one, sort of thing, or something.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. I really, really enjoyed it. You could probably tell because I was cackling my face off half of that.
Cackling like a witch, you were.
But yeah, learnt loads. I mean, the last episode, the one before part 1, was the fish and chips, and I ended up learning loads about fish and chips, and that was a dish that, you know, we've grown up with, and same here, like pizza we've grown up with, but never thought to really look at the origin of it or understand where it really came from. So it's cool to be learning, you know, these things. And I hope you guys are enjoying learning them too.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, well, thanks again for listening. Stay tuned. We've got loads more episodes coming. They're coming thick and fast. We've got loads in the pipeline, so we're really excited to delve into those as well. And yeah, just hope you guys are enjoying them as much as we are making them.
Till next time.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.